Shalom to the elect, giving all praise and honor glory to the Most High Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai, Bahashem HaKakodash, and giving double honor to the elder apostles and elder bishops of Great Millstone, who well, peace and salutation to the elect. Shema Mappa. My name is Amappa from the Great Millstone PLAINTABLES camp of Philadelphia, coming with another week lesson. And as you can see, I have this off of Indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie, which he brings out a lot of good information and such, a lot of the shameful spewing on the Edomites and such, all right, who have control of the whole world and such, and that in particular race of people, of course. And yeah, there's depths of them, like the elder Yashawamba has it, the depths of Satan. You know, we need salvation because we have many of these individuals that are within these places of office. They're nothing but hypocrites, okay? It's like, you know, like, look at what we're dealing with. We're dealing with individuals that you know, want to be as if they are clean, but have all of, you know, the different shameful acts and different disturbances in their records. All right. And if any of us as individuals had participation within any of these different events, we would never hear the end of it, obviously. You know, we wouldn't advocate going and, you know, being the one that fighting for Esau's government. But, you know, these shame would be upon us, okay? So, you have it, Trump's Bureau of Labor Statistic pick spotted at the riot that was on the January 6, 2020. I gotta get the actual date of that particular date. So you had January 6th Capitol, right, which is on 2021, okay? You had a lot of people, you know, part of that, as it was accused of, you know, insurrection, right? You know, storming of the, they storming, okay, by a mob of Trump, as they say, Trump supporters, okay. Right, January 6, 2021, the United States Capitol in Washington was attacked by a mob of supporters of President Trump in an attempted self-coup. That's what they have it as, Wikipedia, okay, as the source of information. 2 months after his defeat for the 2020 presidential election, they sought to keep him in power by preventing a joint session of Congress from counting the Electoral College votes to formalize the victory of the president-elect Joe Biden. Right, that's what they got down right here. You know, I remember you had a lot of different actors, right? You got people as they are put in there, and most of these different individuals are part of these different, as they call it, far-right movements. Okay, part of these different white, which is just another pseudo, you know, social construct, you know, given to the E in 1681 in Virginia. Supreme tacos, as we're gonna go on to it, and different new, we're gonna put it right there. They got it, fascists, right, and different these new Nazis and paparazzi and different new Confederates, right? Different of them, they call themselves factions of they got 3%ers and Oath Keepers, and of course Proud Boys. All right, which that was basically what I ended up was hearing the other day, that just that, you know, from one of particular older gentleman, you know, that I know, you know, from working. He just was like, yeah, most of them people that's within, you know, these different political and executed from the executive government and office, such as like ICE. Those are people that are from, as they have it, the Proud Boys, right, which is American far right, new Fashi, as they go. I'm gonna put militant organization that promotes and engages different of these. You know, they got Hamas or violence, right, political, and then that you know, just go into that on your own. Okay, but you know, these different individuals are part of all of these different parts of government, federal, down to the state governments, right? You know, so that's what we going into. You know, so you're, you know, all the way down to your Homeland Security. You know, you have, of course, Trump done deployed the National Guard. You know, to starting with D.C. Metropolitan area and such. They done federalized that right there. But you got a U.S. Capitol Police, you know, as well. You know, you got all of these different offices that Trump is, as they have it, leading, and these figures, okay, are a part of, okay, because what is he doing there? Okay, and then now he's the nominee. This is who that he wants to be doing, of course, controlling the numbers, because, you know, Donald Trump recently, he fired the labor statistic and head, that is, okay, and his he wants to appoint a new person, because the former was commissioner of the Bureau of Labor is they have it, Erica McInner. All right, and you know, he said he don't under his watch don't like the numbers. Okay, all these jobs are not really being added, and America's not being made great, is losing. So, fair use warning, indisputable with Dr. Rashad Ritchie. This is for educational purposes only. Y'all can check out his page and such, and subscribe and such. And you know, there's a lot of shameful spewing on Esau Edom.
Bureau of Labor Statistics nominee was, in fact, a Jan 6 terrorist himself. And that's my opinion about the whole thing. Okay, so here it is.
Tell us about the president's new pick for BLS.
Had contributed to the project.
And again, remember, this is what he, being Dr. Rashad Ritchie, has stated. Okay, as he had said.
2025, which was, of course, that roadmap for really remaking the federal government. Someone who's a chief economist at the Heritage Foundation, which is a very conservative think tank. This is someone clearly with a political bent in economics.
This is supposed to be a non-political job, and I was told by multiple sources, and the president himself has essentially hinted at this, that he wanted someone with a political bent.
Yeah, someone who's going to tell him what he wants to hear. He basically said,
And all of these individuals are all actors. Okay, at the end of the day, they got paid jobs, and they're doing, of course, their screenplay right before you in reality. All right. This is Job chapter 20 and 5. It says that the triumph of the wicked is short, and the wicked are the Edomites, and they're ruling. Okay, they've been ruling that just for a little season. Okay. It says, in the joy of the hypocrite, but for a moment. All right. So the joy of the hypocrite is but for a moment. Okay. These are actors again. Okay. Then they have a scripts, chanap. All right. Chanap, which is being godless and profane and irreligious, greatly defiled, right? Corrupt. Okay. Let's go on. This is Job chapter 3 and Job chapter 8 and 13. So are the past all of that forget the Most High, and the hypocrites' hope shall perish. Okay. You know, they're gonna be as a shadow. You know, they're gonna be here, and then hey, they're gonna be gone. All right. So, we're gonna go more.
Definitely. Your viewers do need to know about this person. This is someone who is picked, who's been roundly criticized by every single conservative economist that I know, people from basically every conservative think tank, almost every conservative think tank in DC, because he's an extreme partisan. He is not someone who has any technical understanding of these data, not someone with any management experience.
Most people, I think in both parties, agree there's something wrong with the methodology. The data collection is not what is allowing them to get accurate data. When we can argue about the person, isn't the goal here for this new person in the office to fix the way we collect the data so that we're not constantly revising these numbers? To me, you want trusted data? We haven't had trusted data in years because we keep revising.
They want, of course, to tell you of a narrative that's not the truth. Okay, just having lying lips. Okay, that's all that's being basically set forth. All right, but the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai is cutting them off. All right, this is Proverbs, and everybody can see Proverbs 12 and 22. Lying lips are abomination to the Lord Yahweh, but they that deal truly are His delight. Okay, and hey, that's why this whole political system is in the division and falling, because hey, it's mostly comprised of people that are of bringing forth falsehoods. Okay, bringing forth doctored up numbers and such. Right. This is also Psalms chapter 59 in verse 7. It says, behold, or actually I'll start at verse 5 and bounce about. This is Psalms 59 and 5. It says, thou therefore, O Yahweh, power of hosts, of the Lord of armies, and the God and power of Israel. Okay, that's what you have to understand. He's the power, okay, of hosts, of the armies, and of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, you Israelite foreigners. All right, and speckled bird Israelite foreigners that look like the other heathen nation, but lineage go back to Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. He's your power. All right, awake to visit all the heathen. Be not merciful to any wicked transgressor, Salah. All right, and Esau has claimed to be a God-fearing, God-established country, and so the Lord is going to visit these Edomites, and He is. All right. It says, they return at the evening. They make a noise like a dog and go round about the city. Okay. Behold, they belch out with their mouths, swords are in their lips. Okay, and like I say, with them, they've weaponized, their language. Okay, and a lot of people have taken heed, and took a belief of these different, as they call it, far right, even of the far left, any of these different movements, okay, that they have out there, and they have taken that philosophy up, and ultimately all of these people are confused, okay, because they don't know if that's the power that's going to establish His government and eliminate the current, of course, wicked rulership of Esau Edom. It says, for who say they doth hear? But thou, O Yahweh, shalt laugh at them. Thou shalt have all the heathen in derision. Okay? They shall have all the heathen in derision. Alright? It's going to be a fun mocking as the Lord destroy, as he's destructuring this government. Okay? Because, let me go down, verse 12. It says, for the sin of their mouth and the words of their lips, let them even be taken in their pride, and for cursing and lying which they speak. Right? Consume them in wrath, consume them that they may not be, and let them know that God or power ruleth in Jacob until the ends of the earth. Okay, Salah. All right, and that's ultimately what they're going to know. They're going to know the power of Jacob. All right, especially us of the hopeful elect. Okay, and they're just going to get and more.
He's not saying he fired someone because he didn't like the numbers.
Qualified? I mean, this is,
I don't know that he's
hold on,
not.
but this is literally the DEI, anti-DEI administration claiming that everybody, person of color, is not qualified. And then they put this guy in who economists are saying he's not even reading charts and graphs properly. What happened to qualifications?
Qualification. Well, here's his qualification. Put it up full mass. He
See? The qualification, hey. He part of Eve's plan.
was there on that faithful day.
These agent provocateurs and,
Day that Donald Trump first attempted to overthrow the United States democracy. There he is. Right there. Violence and intimidation in order to affect a political outcome is called terrorism.
well, that's what, of course, is being said. Okay? But as we have it, scriptures do tell you. This is Job chapter 13. And that's all y'all really need. Y'all can look at it for the rest for yourself. Job, is it Job 13? And 4 says, but ye are forgers of lies, ye are all physicians of no value. Alright, a forger to Paul, okay, when you go into it in Hebrew, meaning a plaster or a smear over, okay, to impute falsely, sew up. Yeah, so, with this person, hey, you've been part of this particular movement, hey, please go during, our time. We're going to appoint you to then plaster up and doctor up the numbers so that we can appear as if we are fixing and making America great. Okay? So Donald Trump, ultimately, he's appointing his own so-called government, which ultimately the think tanks, really the elite, lobbyists, are paid for this to go on. All right? And that's that. You have as the scriptures talk about, a shadow government, okay, that really pull the strings. We as believers have to pray to be guarded from. So this is in the elites of the banking families, major banking families such as the Rothschilds, Rockefellers, DuPonts, the Gettys, just to name some. All right. But it says here, Psalms 64:1, hear my voice, O power, and my prayer. Preserve my life from fear of the enemy. Hide me from the secret counsel of the wicked, from the insurrection of the workers of iniquity. All right, insurrection. Look into that word. It's another key word, regash. Okay, which goes into a company. Okay, a scheming. All of them people, as they have it brought together and had a scheme or a plot, as they say, to storm the Capitol building. Okay, actors or not, they were put in place, paid in place. People have, they had been deleted, etc. Different people from government apparently was, had to, get out of there, etc. Okay. It says here, who wet their tongue like a sword and bend their bows to shoot their arrows, even bitter words, that they may shoot in secret at the perfect. Suddenly do they shoot at him and fear not. Okay, at the Israelites. Okay, they do come with these different plots. Okay, because ultimately there's different laws put against anybody that come against the government. Okay, and they'll use these certain events and say, hey, certain people have been connected with that, and they would then demonize and persecute them. It says they encourage themselves in the evil manner, they commune and lay in snares privily, they say, who shall see them? Okay, they move in secret. All right, so that's pretty much the lesson. Micah chapters 2:1. Woe unto them that devise iniquity and work evil upon their beds. When the morning is light, they practice it because it is in the power of their hands, and they have to rest, and it's their time to execute the plan in which they've been paid to do. So that's the lesson through the Spirit. See where God was at. See where they want him to be at. Okay, and where he most likely will be at, despite of any credentials or anything, as they say, amongst this big sea of people, of he was in there. All right, so shalom to the elect.